Welcome. This is the second video of the day. I'm going to work on not complaining about people that come and go, and the lack of likes. I want to thank you for your 13 likes. I want to thank Evan and others for their support of this show. I feel right now we're going to start with kind of a free flow as we have people settle into their chairs here and silence your cell phones. By the way, where are your kids at? Clap on, clap off the clapper. With this influx of solar juju juice, I am of the hallucination. Hey, that's a joke. Come on, trying to be funny here. I am of the belief system, okay, that I am beyond subhuman. Let's stay clear of Superman, but I'm a wannabe. And I think that we need more wannabe, Jesus Christ types, Savior type wannabes, rather than a bunch of slaves on planet Earth walking around going, you're a sinner, don't you ever say that you, like Jesus, is, quote, that I can do many things and you can do more. Hell no, you won't go to anywhere cosmic. You must, John 3:16, blow Jesus and let him bukkake in the head in the toilet. No. That's not actually Jesus' message. So go fuck yourself, you racist Nazi fake Christians. The real Jesus never promoted white supremacy. The real Jesus never went, you know what the real deal is, bro? We got to have barbed wire and concrete ethnostate. We got to stop those people from having babies that look like these people. This must stop. You cannot. And so what the Old Testament Orcon follower racists of Earth that are under mind control do is they confuse the idea of people that look slightly differently with being demons or Nephilim from Babylon. In other words, the real Satan that controls the Orthodoxia religions, the official Jewish religion, the official Islamic religion or belief system, not Sufi realities, but the Orthodox. And the Orthodox Christians, oh, across this land, my dear. It's like we're just a loving little leprechaun. And on the topic of the leprechaun, do you know how much my card is worth by chance? Not my car, honey. My card. This is nothing to a woman here locally because they're not awake. They're not intuitive. They don't know not to get in the car with the bad man. They'll rip them in the hole with the baseball bat. And they don't want to know what a psychic man is, who's brown and short. So when they look at this, do you think that they're like, oh, wow, you have value? You're like offering real world scripture to me about the nature of evil. They're like, you ain't. I won't rip up 10 cents, which this costs. And if you print out free cards, then give me a call. Let's do some business. Let's save some souls. Today, you, the audience, who is not currently being berated, you're being encouraged to grow your soul. Read the words that I put over at the Substack. And if you find yourself leaving this channel, if you find yourself leaving the Substack, let me tell you what is happening. You are feeling a frequency of consciousness, a God force, if you will, that the voices that maybe, I won't say yes, I'll stay away from you statements, may be screaming to you, he's a demon, he's a warlock, he's a witch. No one can yell like a burly man with a big chest that can push 4 plates. He's a little boy. You need to silence the voice in the head that you think is your own thoughts. What I am is the ultimate life coach and daddy. Maybe in some cases a feminine mommy who cares about your feelings. Other than the abusive daddy, I care about your feelings like a mommy. You know what I'm saying? I've got the attributes of the mom and the dad within me. I am the ultimate therapist. You think I'm just a conspiracy theorist? I can take off that hat and put on another fucking hat and just talk to you about your feelings for 7 hours. I can talk to you about your feelings and what your dad and your mom did to you, even if you're my mom and you wanted the DNA upgrade. We could talk about Bill for 8 hours straight and things you were planning to take to the grave. See, the truth of the matter is, as I told my mommy and my dad and you and Ava, you don't even know who I am. And that is shocking because I'm not a dummy, retard, mental ill reject. Now that it's 2025. About 30, 40, 50 things, there's so many I'm losing count. Now I know I'm in a simulation that I've been right about. Meanwhile, you compare me to the top guests on Coast to Coast. You compare me to a guy named James Gillen of the Ascendi Ranch, and it's extremely different. The amount of lies that that guy tells, and then you combine that with the amount of white pussy that he gets, that's massive. You get the factoid that the bigger the liar you are, the bigger the denier of truth you are, the more it will naturally, magnetically gravitate to you, what I called in my earlier video, for lack of a better word, carnalism. Making shit up out of your ass to get pussy, to get money, prancing around like Jesus Christ, talking about the alien Anunnaki coming to upgrade our what? Our DNA? Nigga, please get the fuck out of here. That dude told me that we would be rescued by the sun in 2009. And in reality, my life went downward. And so we're going to show you, dear, today, we're going to put on the big boy pants. Ah! Okay? I am not a punk human. Those of you with big chests, amen types, should get behind me. Okay? The truth is, some of you are too feminized to like real men. All you can do is say he's a demon. Well, why don't you call Ultimate Warrior a demon? You've got actual big dudes that made millions of dollars screaming and throwing dudes out of the ring. Some of you actually have an issue with a short Afghani who's brilliant. So let's move on, because you're getting the repetitive dribble. But you need to be reminded on a daily basis that you need to upgrade your DNA. There's way too many of you watching me by the thousands that say nothing to me every week. So you do not get, and you get the you statement now, buddies. Collectively, you don't engage with me to give me kudos. And that is God telling me these people are watching you, but they are not your friends. Now, if you ever begin to believe or perceive that you are my friend, want to be my friend, want to help me, or really convince me that I need to stick around the earth for a long ass time, you need to work on your communication skills. Because if you think silent psychic beaming to me is going to do it, no. But if you're interested in the psychic phenomena, then we should talk. We should talk then, if you believe in that. But thinking that I'm only going to read into your spidey senses without actually getting your email, no. You have to go to Magic Shift 333. And you create a dummy account if you're freaked out about names. You're like, bro, I just want to tell you your life matters. Such and such life matters. I don't want to say it or I'll offend you. But you see, you need a man like me to say, there goes the bad guy. There goes the bad guy. You need somebody like me. What, you think is so good? What do you, folks, for those that are like, what is he doing? Folks, I'm talented. And like, the way I can mimic and do impersonations is at the level that I should be in an actual studio with professionals. We'll stay away from, I should be earning a certain amount of money, but I should have family, supporters, hundreds of friends, and people talking to me on my cell phone. And so you need to understand why I have these feelings, why I rant like this. I'm living in a world where I'm watching you and your people with social lives, Christmas lives, Thanksgiving lives, text message lives, and nobody talks to me because they're afraid of me, because there's a jolt to me. There's an energy that's so anti-demonic that it attacks the demons that still the humans that don't know about demons, don't believe in demons, still have attached to their bodies, okay? And so what can I learn about all these demographics treating me with something beyond white supremacy, but including white supremacy, also mixed with Muslim supremacy? What about the different types of black supremacy that I've experienced? What was I meant to come to understand? And what are you meant to understand? When you look at Passio, Eastwood, the Bidenites, Portland, AMTV, Jones, Icke, and nearly all women that I know of on this earth, because they're silent about any positive affirmations. The perception of the all women hate me, the perception that the all women hate me comes from factually, quantitatively, a lack of positive affirmation that my life matters. It is not mental illness for me to realize that in simulation, nearly all women will reject me. And yet when I look at the titles of my videos at 25 Countdown, I'm proud of myself. And spiritually, my mommy is too. And she's on her way out, like a lot of seniors. Okay? And it's going to take her some time still to deprogram from certain things. But in some cases, it literally has to be your family that will understand the most basic things. But if your family forgets your value, if your mother forgets your value, if other things go down in which your value is belittled, Your issues with the world may be way more serious than you can ever imagine if you found yourself in a harmed family. Okay, so we can talk about each one of these folks, but I chose to leave off Trumpers because I ran out of space and I put Bidenites instead. And why is that? And then we'll talk about each category. Okay, we'll talk about each one in general and why I believe that they don't like me. And it's going to be the same thing over and over. And some of you still are not intelligent enough to get that. And it's hypocritical for you to be drawn to me, think highly of me for years, and then to unsub, throw me away when I go deeper into my psychic awareness. But there is far more that unifies the Trump supporter, the white supremacist, the answeree on my family side, not me. That was just the name that I was stamped with. I'm not a typical answering mind slave or Nagel. I am a being that's beyond this name. You should know that by now. And so what is the unifying Satanism of my father, of Donald Trump, of Alex Jones, of AMTV? What are the common mythos that bind them and the unconscious women together? If you're a demon, then you're going to think that I'm running around abusing everybody. If you're a demon, you're going to simultaneously hate Muslims and then come to the aid of Muslims when I bullhorn them at a music festival, revealing your true nature. Imagine a person hating on Muslims and then attacking me on YouTube during the total solar eclipse when I megaphone Muslims on welfare. Now, if you want to self-improve and you're like an MMA fighter and you don't know about demons and mental illness and possessions, you can actually become a PhD in the paranormal. And knowing when you're taken over and you're sitting outside of Kroger and you're attacking me for trying to tell Muslims to respect the Bill of Rights and white lives and to care about America. If you're beating up on me for megaphoning Muslims, but you were previously, stop coming to America, raghead, and then you like beat up, you see, and I'm not mentioning names. That's an example, and it happened, and we've got the documentation of real-time demonic possession of aspects of my audience that will verbally, through their verbal diarrhea, claim or lie that they respect me or like me for my off-grid work, telling them where to go to protect their specific daughters. And I never said go to Alaska. Did I? I did not. I actually said the opposite. So what I think's going on, and I hope you like my sense of humor, is the devil gets inside people's minds and says, why don't you go move here? And later we'll come with Russia. You get it? But do you? And so people that think they're smart, think their superiority, could think that they haven't figured out where to go to the safe spots. In reality, and I learned this from Sufi realities, they could actually be moving to, guess what, kiddos? The most cursed spots on the earth, the Nephilim rape gangs that will happen in the future. So when I think about, and I'm not guaranteeing it, remote wilderness areas, dun, dun, dun. I think you need to be looking more at some of these video games. Far Cry 5, perhaps. I cannot guarantee you that Colorado will be perfectly safe from the events taking place. What I can say is it's going to be dangerous for minorities and people that are against evil. And so Leon said it'd be a great place to go for the warriors that will be resisting the Chinese invasion. But it's not going to be good for everybody in America to go to Colorado. I mean, are you interested in fighting the Chinese military? Most of you don't want none of that shit. But some of us might be like, fuck that, bro, Rambo. And I totally wanted to influence Stallone to make a Rambo 6 where he's fighting the Chinese. And guess what? Guess what? You know how there's those fake trailers all over the internet, right? For fake movies, like the new Bloodsport or AI, something with Bolo Young that never happened. There are those now for Rambo 6, where he's fighting during the apocalypse. I already had the idea for Rambo 6, and I wanted Millie Weaver, who was friends with, she worked for InfoWars, who added me on some point in Facebook, to get a hold of Frank Stallone, who was her contact on Facebook, to get a hold of Sylvester Stallone, to get my message to Sylvester Stallone, that I need to be flown into Hollywood to influence Sylvester Stallone, to wake up America, to how, through the spiritual, mindful use of predictive programming, to warn America about the Chinese invasion from a psychic perspective in a modern Chinese Red Dawn movie. Me, Sylvester Stallone, two short dudes working together, like Arnold and Apollo Creed, about to fight the Archon Predator. Do you got it? I've been on the case of the real nature of the hatred that may or may not be in you now, that you may or may not be admitting the real nature of why you don't email me, because you need to be told this on a regular basis. You as a collective were way nicer to me 15 years ago. And I don't see how I did anything wrong to you, except get older, poor, you know what I mean? And maybe have a little bit more emotions. I perceive myself as being sharper and trying to be nicer to you and repeating hundreds of times. I'm trying not to use you statements. So I am seeing your likes go up, but it isn't across the board at the other website. There still are many, many videos with 0 likes. And it isn't really clear if you're like, well, I really like you, but don't you ever upload a video of the news that you work hard on and not show your face. I will not take orders from Gypsy Fox, who says a lot of things that I think are babblegoo. Oh, don't do this, don't do that. He's in no position to be given any advice whatsoever when he gives the worst advice on the earth regarding certain things. Don't edit, don't do this, don't write books, don't read books, just BitChute and YouTube. Fuck BitChute. Okay, anybody thinking you're changing shit on BitChute isn't in the truth movement, and you need to know that. Delete your BitChute account. Talk to nobody who's on BitChute because they're connected in with them. Nobody rational would be on BitChute when for years they promoted Hitler marching on the Jews. Nobody. And so if someone has a sickness and they're associated with BitChute, your first order of command from your brother is to delete that shit. So let's move on with the show. Hey, you bro, you do what you want. And hey, one more piece of advice. Curse nobody who's innocent just because you're pissed. So what can you learn from Passio? What can you learn from Eastwood? What can you learn from the Bidenites? Portland, AMTV, Jones, Icke, women. Answer is just like you and me. Your denial of white supremacy is poison. Because white supremacy, racial supremacy, anti-short man value is all over each one of these fucks. Now, the difference between Passio and me is I can learn from Passio and promote Passio and be above the naffs and see the good in Passio. You think Mark Passio would ever reply to an email from you as to why Passio would ever talk to me? Do you think that Passio would ever reply to an email from you? Right? Asking why Passio would ever talk to a dude like me now when so much of what we talk about is spot on, because he, of all people, is like a cult leader who literally threatens to bash in his audience, right? I know I've kind of moved in that direction. I don't know if I should even be apologizing anymore and being a nice guy, because I'm seeing signs that apologies will cause people to think that you're weak. It's troublesome. It's like I came from a more conscious planet where you can be a nice guy, but I came to the nice guys finished last planet to get tough. It's just crazy. My grandpa would be the one that would pick up silverware and drop it. And so it's very important that women like my mother that listened to the wrong people in the 1980s be introduced to real stud muffins like Anthony Hilder. Wait, that's not where I'm trying to take it. Hang on there, honey. It was my grandpa that called me honey. Like, don't you call me honey. Oh man, that's him speaking through me. Okay, enough of that. You don't need to know too much. The point is this. Where was the point? The point, straight to the point. There's so many points to this. So many points. Anthony Hilder was warning about massive Nazism after the year 2000. He was talking about the Illuminati New World Order coming alive like 2000, and there was a guy named Jack McLamp. Now, here's what I think about that truth, that the conspiracy people, we will not call them conspiracy tards in this context, but the accurate conspiracy psychic, did you hear that, Mom? The actual psychics weren't in the New Age movement. They were people like Anthony Hilder, who had balls to the wall, but boom, he actually debated Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, who said, kill the white man. Kill the white man. That's what he said. I disagree with that. So he said that in his DVD, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, or whatever his name is. I don't know. I think that's it. And guess what? Anthony Hilder, by himself, with his black wife, stood in Los Angeles in the late 90s and provided a counter argument. Now, to those of you that think that I've been anti-white for years, you need to look in the mirror to see what a demon looks like. What are you doing to promote Anthony Hilder, standing up against the black man? I asked you a question, punk. And so you think you can chip away at my confidence, you demon scum? who for years thought I was schizophrenic, autistic. Now the events are kicking into action. And you don't call me autistic anymore now, do you, cunts? You see what's coming. And you're starting to feel that shit about to explode out of your arse. And you're like, oh my God, gulp, Donald Trump's not gonna save us? Donald Trump's not gonna, oh my God. And now do you realize how psychopathic people are gonna get when they realize that daddy's not coming home? That the return of King was a lie, that demons aren't gods. They are our enslavers. He is there to grab that soul along with Biden Obama, squish it up into one big ball of alien hatred, and then dump it in the reincarnation matrix where people come back in the forms of humans that they threw in the cage. Or they false flagged or slandered or were super harsh to while they did not hold their own boys. They had the mind geek featuring the white men, featuring all the ethnic women, raping all the ethnic women in simulated rape scenes. They wouldn't want to talk about that. Oh no! Let's just talk about the Muslims. Let's just talk about the migrants. Let's ignore how mind Greek the porno that many of these perverted white dudes are watching. Let's ignore. Exodus Cry being a product of Donald Trump. They blame brown people for the human trafficking in America. You're not even going to endorse the border rape websites? I mean, expose? You're not even going to expose and say, we also got to expose the websites promoting men to become Minutemen and go down to the border, have a real good time. Now, those websites have been around for 30, 40 years, or as long as the internet's been around. Fantasizing about going to the Middle East and hurting Afghani and Iraqi women once you kill their fathers. There has never been a female protest movement in America. These women are garbage if they don't care about women getting killed overseas. They have no value. These women, even in my audience, have no value and no soul if they have no feelings when other women are raped and sacrificed like Jesus Christ on the altar and then lit a fire. If they're thinking that I'm bad for even alleging those things are going on, whoa, this alien invasion is deeper than I thought. What type of a person will look down upon me as a man willing to die for future women? What type of modern woman would look down upon me for being white? What type of former fornicating fellatio thing of mine would stop watching my channel? How could I possibly be wrong about sex demons in women if they would fuck me, suck me, and refuse to wake up? Now, I want you to think about that. Now, they showed you, this is solar flares. This is solar maximum. So what do you think is really coming between now and July? All I'm doing, folks, is just making a YouTube video, and you're backing out. There's nobody watching this. I'm not a killer. But there's killers that live amongst you and maybe even within you. For the man that harassed me from California and moved to Alaska, I always assume that he later may kill me if he changes back to his old place. It's written down in the journal. We know who he is. We hope that he will repent and say sorry for what he may have done, Warcock, and evolve beyond these things. Because I still have these conspiracy theories that people temporarily become kind till the new, planetary archonic thing comes around, and then boom, back to the races. People are nice, then they're not nice. Then they're nice, then they're not nice. And you can be telling them, hey, total solar eclipse. Hey, bro, solar flares. They're like, bro, you need to get that autism checked out, bro. Off-grid living, hey. So again, I'm very talented, but many people confuse the multi-talents that I have for hate of this group, hate of that group, not being willing to do MMA, being lazy, when in fact I'm a self-made, self-taught, self-directed martial artist, truth speaker, and I do have formal martial arts training in informal lifetimes, and within this lifetime for a couple of years. And so by myself, I have shown you advanced mastery, self-defense techniques that your current level of consciousness cannot appreciate. But people in another time, in another history, without cell phones, would see me in the bag, would see me orating, would see me, and they would appreciate the authentic new man. I am a new man, not an Illuminati new man, which you've been programmed, and maybe the devil programmed you with hate to hate people like me that would come later. That would be a good new man. That would be a positive mixed race just one type of white man. And this is where a lot of people will back out and go, oh my God, you're pushing the death of the white race. And that right there, if you want to know if you're a demon, ding, ding, this is your moment to realize what you are. If you think there's something wrong with me having pride in what I am, but you're okay to have white pride, and Latino pride is okay, and black pride is okay, congratulations, you are a demon if you have even the slightest feeling that I should not have pride in who I am. Now, last story, and I have to stop yelling because I am upset. I chased a man for having the sticker that was on the arm of the terrorist, and I screamed at him, and he ran red lights to get away from me. Don't you ever think for a